Welcome to the Open House podcast where women talk real estate. I'm Kristina Moderis.
And I'm Steph Douglas. I just took Charlie on a walk. And first of all, it was 8:30 and we walked outside and it felt like you just walked into a sauna.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And then she found a puddle of mud, like a huge field of mud, and she was like so relieved and she ran through it so hard. So we just gave her a bath. So that's been my morning. It's been so gross.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think we need we need like an indoor Austin dog park because it's just brutal out there.
Free business idea.
Free. Yeah.
Do it.
$1 million idea.
Seriously. And I was like, this is so incredibly off topic, but like people are having fewer kids and they're having more dogs. Like the dog industry is not a bad place to invest.
That's true. Also, what a good pop-up for the summer in Austin. Like just rent a huge warehouse. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there for rent.
Yes.
I'm like, should we do this?
I know. Like Spirit Halloween. They're seasonal.
Yes.
We could go off season with Spirit Halloween.
Literally. And just rent a warehouse and like hire someone to clean up the grossness of poop and pee and just let them run around in a warehouse
with some cold AC.
Yeah. I mean,
genius.
Maybe put some like bar in there for the adults, like get a brewery to come in and yeah. I mean,
yes.
Should we go
genius.
Do
that? turf in there and then some like, obstacles or whatever. Man, yeah, because it is brutal here. If you're not in Austin, we have triple digits for the next 10 days into like 106 and it's just no way to live. So
no, I'm ready to get the hell out of here.
You're leaving, right?
Well, I was supposed to leave for July and August, but I am leaving for 2 weeks in July. I was going to like work remotely. So we're renovating. We got a new office space. And our designer comes the last week of July. So I think, hopefully, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
So I probably need to be home for like 2 to 3 weeks, I'm assuming. Who knows what August will bring, but
we'll get there. 2 weeks is a start.
Yeah.
I think I'll be gone collectively 2 weeks during the awful times.
Yeah.
Also, but just not at the same time. But it is just like, it just degrades your quality of life. And really, I'm leaving on a plane, which you can bring Levy, but Charlie can't come with us. And so she has to stay in this heat. And so I have to figure out a way to get her out of here too.
Yeah. Ugh, I know. Road trip. We're road tripping to Florida, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So
so you have your car?
Yeah, we're going to, I think mainly to have a car, and we're going to be there for 2 weeks. So it'll be worth it. And like the flights, I mean, they're cheap. I don't know why we're doing it. Every time I do it, I'm like, never again, but, it'll be fine. We're going to New Orleans and I'm excited. So.
It's not that far, right? It's like 12 hours.
Yeah, it's not great, but we can split it up. Yeah. So we always stop in New Orleans for a day, and then the next day it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Summer. I love that we haven't talked about this, but your summer bucket list is so cute.
I know. I have to. Oh, I have it right next to me. I have to hang it up. I have to like finish it and then hang it up somewhere where I can see it.
It's so cute. What are some highlights? Just like a couple.
The nerdiest one is eat a snow cone.
Oh,
like that. Or my friend said that was the most wholesome thing.
That is so wholesome. You should do that in New Orleans. They have like legendary snowballs.
Yes. Okay. That's perfect. Let's see. One that I think you will really like is, and we could maybe plan together, is a field day.
Oh my God.
A fun field day. Like just games all day. There has to be water involved because, as we mentioned, the heat. But yeah, I think that also you would like outdoor movie. I guess Alan would like that.
Yeah.
Paint with watercolors, another wholesome one.
So cute. Oh my God.
Guys, I think I saw a TikTok on this. This guy was like, we used to, which I think he's like a Gen Zer, but maybe I was like, I think this was something that I used to do, like write all the fun like
Oh
lists of
yeah.
things you wanted to do this summer. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that. That's so sweet. And my
We
friend
should do
Megan
this.
did it.
We should
Hmm.
do this seasonally. We should do it for the
Yes.
fall and for it's such a good idea.
Ooh, that would be a fun like team activity.
Oh, that would be fun. All of these. I know. I just got back from New Orleans and I was I don't know why sometimes I just get like fixated on things and I was trying to rank everybody on the trip on how fast their 100 meters would be.
I thought you were gonna say rank them on the trip of like how much they were fun, like how fun they were on the
How
trip.
fun they were. No. But I was just like, do you think that you could beat me in 100 meters? And some people will be like, I don't know. Like it's so silly. And so I feel
100
day would be
meter
really
run?
fun. Yeah, like 100-meter race.
Oh,
It's like one stretch of like
it's a
1/4
sprint.
of the track. Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, 100-meter dash. It's
Yeah.
like a sprint. Hmm.
Yeah. I know. I loved it. I ran it in middle school.
What'd they say that who said they could beat you?
There was like a couple of dudes that say that they could beat me, and then my
Yeah.
bestie from middle school and high school, who like we kind of like we competed a lot, and she thought she could beat me.
Are
But
you
it's really
fast? I've never like
I
sprinted next to you.
I know I was fast in middle school, so I don't know. And then like
Oh my
soccer,
gosh.
I you know, yeah,
100-meter
so
dash.
we should move forward. Okay, but we're going to the retreat house next week. Speaking of summer and pools,
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited. I I guess full transparency, our retreat house needs some work. Like
Yeah,
Steph and I with one other friend bought a house. It's in Leander, but it's kind of like near Lake Travis, I guess. Um
yeah,
and
it's in
or like
like the Valente
Valente.
area. Yeah,
Yeah, and we renovated it and then we added a pool. And then we probably use it like a handful of times every year to go do retreats with our team, and then we just go there with friends, and it's a really sweet hangout place. It's like a nice true retreat where there's like nature around, and it's like it's nice.
yeah,
But we've kind of like let it go a little bit.
yeah.
She needs a
Properties need
spruce.
attention. Yeah, there's just little things, honestly, it was like the first round of renovation was like big, and then there was just like things that didn't work. Like we put stuff into the walls and they fell out, or like the door
Hmm.
handles. There's like the systems that we put in that we thought were going to work are not working. So it's going to
Hmm.
be like 3 days of probably some like annoying, frustrating things, but like afterwards we'll feel so much better.
Yeah, and I think even just like I'm gonna take some of the stuff that we do at me and my sister have a house in Florida. So taking some of those things and kind of elevating the experience. Even just like we provide like right now I went there and they have like Fiesta, like a purple laundry detergent that kind of just like smells like chemicals and there's like fake plants around. It just is like a little bit of a cheesy vibe that I'm gonna just clear out. And like I think just having some elevated supplies and like just clearing out clutter will make it way better. We're getting a new couch because our couch there is like disintegrating, it literally just
Like almost literally. Yeah,
yeah.
it needs to be more of a premium experience.
Yes.
And it just doesn't take that much to get it there. And so it's exciting it's frustrating that we let it get to this point, but we were like, this is so passive, and it just can't be as passive as we
No.
once thought.
Right. And we do have a property manager. And I think just like setting the standard with them of like, this is our expectation. I'm just like embarrassed of our reviews. And like, I want to be able to show that to our clients and like our company and be proud of it. So, for my own ego purposes too, I'm like, I need this to be way better.
Yeah. And for our own enjoyment purposes. Like we went
Yeah.
up there with our team hoping to have like a really nice time, and the whole time we were all like, "Oh, well, this doesn't work." And the pool is 104 degrees and like all of these things. That's
casually
yeah.
100 for.
And just the frustrating, it's just like not a luxury experience for us either. So yeah, we'll keep
Yeah.
everyone updated.
Yeah.
Follow along on TikTok.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
We've been a company for 4 years.
Yes, June 1st was our 4-year birthday, and I don't know if we told everyone, but yeah, Steph and I kind of forgot about it.
Yes.
We literally recorded a podcast that day and didn't mention it.
I know. And then our team threw us a surprise party, which I do think that we mentioned on here, and it was incredibly sweet. But I keep getting different responses. What are you getting? Like people are saying, "Oh my gosh, it's been 4 years. It seems like it's been, or it seems like that's so long. I can't believe you've been in business for that long." And then someone yesterday was like, "4 years, that's it? It seems like you've been in business for so long, you know?"
Yeah, that's I mean, I guess me and you have been talking to all of our friends and family about real estate long before we started Open House Austin, so maybe it just
True.
seems like way longer to some people.
Yeah.
Um, because like even we started our launch party is kind of when we say when we started, but we started I think like even a year before that because we were getting everything ready. We were renovating this office space, like so wow, full
That's
circle.
true. That's true. Like we can't, it's hard to have a lunch party when you haven't, like it's not, that's not the very first thing you do, but we did have it on June 1st, 2019. So we definitely, and like our LLC was actually started on January 1, 2019. And then before that there was, we had already bought the building. So yeah, I guess you're right. It has been probably about 5 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's which, and I don't know, has it felt like, what has it felt like to you? Has it felt like a long time or a short time?
I think a little bit of both. I think I taught elementary school for 7 years, but one school for 2 years and then another school for 5 years. And so I just haven't done things for that long ever. Have
That seems
you?
like a long time to me though.
I know 7 years is a
Five
really long
years or
time. Yeah.
7 years, 5 years at like, especially in your early 20s.
Yeah.
I did things for like a year and then was just like, bye. And not because I was like ADHD or whatever. I just like wasn't, I think I weirdly trusted my gut. And I used to tell myself, like, oh, you're just being a cop out. Like, I remember my friend, when I moved to Austin, I didn't have a job and I was desperately looking for, I wanted to be in music events or like some sort of like fun, like uplifting career. Um, it's funny, I got into like weddings, which is whatever. I wasn't, but it was like better than, like, my friend was like working at a hotel and she's like, I can get you a front desk job. And I was like, absolutely not. I am not doing that. Like, not because I was above it, but because I knew that if I did that, it's not for me. I would be so
Yeah.
miserable doing it. I just would be bad at it. And I held out for like a month to, and then I got a job at Circuit of the Americas, which
Oh
honestly
yeah.
was great, which was a great first experience for me. But at the time I was like, wow, I'm just being a cop out. Like, I should work at this job. Like, I should just make this money and do it. But I think I was starting to learn to trust my gut. And like, I did that through every little like movement of my career. Like every job, I was like clawing my way to something better and better each time. And I wasn't going to stay stagnant in something that wasn't helping me grow. So
Yeah.
it was nice. But I mean, I think you found teaching was probably super inspiring to you. And after a few years, you probably were like, this is now a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I found my calling. I was like, I felt like my admin and my principals made me feel like I was a prodigy. Like they
Hmm.
were like, "Oh my god," they would give me all of this feedback like this is what you're meant to do and you're helping people and you're making a difference. It's like there's a lot of martyr talk in teaching, like you're doing so much for these kids, so you should be sacrificing your health and your mental health
Hmm.
and your social life and so I was like, yeah, this is what I do. And then I taught at a public school for 2 years. And then I moved to a charter, which was a big pay raise, but a huge hour increase. Like I was working, it was probably a downgrade in hourly pay, but my mission and my values were just like, this is, I'm doing it. This is like a higher level of me doing what I'm meant to do. And then I was like physically ill and mentally ill, and I found real estate, and I'm so happy that I did. But it was really interesting first, and I wouldn't trade it. I think I learned so much,
Mhm.
like administrative skills, a small whatever I have, it's from that job.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's wild the path that we take.
Yeah, and 5 years in the grand scheme of things, sorry, is it 7 or 5? Was it
Well,
both? What
I
was
did
is
seven for total, 5 years at
Okay.
my charter, 2 years
Got
at
it, got it.
but yeah, seven years of teaching, which yeah,
7
sounds,
years.
yeah. What are we, 34? That's a fifth of my life.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, it's not that much time in the grand scheme of things. When you're in your 20s, it does seem like forever. But yeah, and it was good experience for you to get where we are now, which
Oh,
yeah, which is
yes.
amazing.
Education. I remember people like older in the industry would be like, most people don't last 5 years in teaching. My first year, and I was like, whatever, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna
Mhm.
work my way up, I'm gonna be a principal. And when I realized that the principal's job looked fucking awful, I was like, oh my God, wait, this is not it. Like I was gonna climb my way up. I was gonna be an assistant principal, then I was gonna be a principal, then whatever that looks like. First of all, it looked really uncomfortable and really hard. And also the pay increase was like a fraction.
Yeah.
I was like, this can't be it. So yeah, I feel very grateful for our company.
We were talking I was talking to some friends the other day about like Waffle House, and I was like, "Well, Waffle House pays their employees a lot." And I was like, "I don't know, like 65 to 70." And someone was like, "No, that's not a lot." And like they pay them like 80 to 85. And I was like, "They make more than teachers? What?" So I was like, "Teachers don't make 85? Like, are
No,
you serious?" I was like, "This is so stupid. Like teachers
it's
should make like 200 at least. Like they do so much, and
it's wild.
they're sculpting like our country. Like why would you not?"
I know. It's so crazy. My starting salary was 43 in 2013. Or sorry, no. My starting salary was 43 in 2008. And no, what am I saying?
No, no,
No, 2013.
2013, yeah.
2013, yeah.
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 2007. But I just looked it up again just out of curiosity, and the starting salary is not that much higher for Austin ISD, and it's been 10 years.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's definitely needs to be some reform,
Yeah.
but
What do they make?
here
Like
we are.
60?
That's a lot for a teacher. I think they're in like the low 50s.
Well,
Um,
I was just like, it's funny that like my friend was like, no, so insulted that I would say 65 for Waffle House employees. But then I was like, but teachers don't make that. Like, what am I supposed to assume that
yeah,
like a good salary for a Waffle House like manager? It was for a manager.
right.
Is 85 a year?
It's so
Which
wild.
maybe it's a little less. I don't know. Maybe it ranges, but like
Yeah.
I would not assume that that's how much they could make. And
Yes. The salary range in general right now is so huge because of tech salaries. Like, I do think that there's been a pullback because of the economy, and people aren't getting 300, 400, $500,000 salaries as much as they were. But like, we're ranging from 30,000 to $500,000 in salaries. It's so wild.
hmm.
I don't know how to solve it, but
Yeah. I mean, I could live off of 27,000. I made like when I worked at Circuit of the Americas, I wasn't doing anything glamorous. I was like the beverage manager, hauling things, like working long hours, crazy hours, but I was making like 27,000 a year, and I was like, I'm rich. I'm
yeah.
in luxury, but like that was yeah, like 10 years ago. Oh, was it 9 years ago? That was like 9 years ago, 10 years ago. Anyway, doesn't matter. And I was a single, like I was living with 4 other people in an old house for $500. Of course I was like,
Yeah.
I was a young person in my 20s, didn't need anything, didn't have kids, didn't like didn't know what I was
Yes.
doing.
Yes, yes, yes. I remember feeling so rich too at 43,000. I was like, this is amazing because I'd never had, I mean, coming from college where you just had literally nothing extra. And
Yeah.
then I remember going on a trip and like my mindset was just to like cut costs at all costs. And I was like, oh my God, I could like go eat at a restaurant. It was luxury.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
But
Times change.
anyway, how do you feel about 4 years versus or 4/5 years? Like, how long does it feel to you?
So I listened to this podcast a while ago called The Longest Shortest Time. It was about children. Like, I think, yes, but that's how I feel. I was like, it was the longest time, it was the shortest time. It feels like both to me. So yeah, I think like when we first started, that felt so long ago. But then I look at photos and I'm like, wait, that was like yesterday. Like COVID, even like during that time, it didn't feel like that long ago, but it was. Like things are changing. It's kind of crazy. Even like, what was like technology, like people's mindset around technology is changing so quickly. Like it just feels like we're living in a world that's like really changing quickly with like how businesses are run. So that is making it feel a little spooky to me, like, oh
Yeah,
wow, time's going by quickly.
I know. We've had so many chapters in our business,
Mhm.
and until you just said that, I totally forgot that we spent 2 full years of our business in the pandemic. I
Mhm.
mean, that is a time warp in itself. So yeah, but the chapters, I mean, Oak Springs,
Yeah.
then what did we do after Oak Springs?
Um
Nothing. Pandemic.
Oh yeah, we had no office because we could not meet in person. And I
Yeah.
think it felt like it's felt really kind of jaded this time period because I like when we started this, I was like 28 and I was like I felt young and felt, and not that we're old now, but like it's interesting how different you're treated when you're in your 20s versus your 30s, and just like it could be your own mindset as well, or my own mindset, but like I remember turning 30 and then all of a sudden like Gen Z was talked about so much more, and I was like, wait, am I not the, because we got approached a lot for being like in your 20s, like young business owners, and I all of a sudden was like, oh wait, we're not seen in the same way anymore. Like we're seen very differently. So I think that time was kind of has made time feel a little weird to me.
Yeah, totally. Because we did transition from being 27 into our 30s. Like as business owners, we were just talking to someone about this yesterday, and like what we did was kind of wild. I mean, we just like started a business at age 28, 20, 27, 28. And looking back, it's like, oh my God, I look at 27, 28-year-olds as being such babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It
we were not 27, 28. What am I saying? I'm 34 now.
we were I was 20. Well, we were 20. Like I
Yeah.
remember when we started, we I was
w-
27. You might have been
I think I was
28.
28 because I'm a little older. Yes, yes.
But yeah, we were talking about this when we met. We were like 25,
Yeah.
26, 25, 26, and then once we like actually decided to do this full time, it wasn't really, I feel like we just kind of stumbled upon it, because we had already we had bought a property before together before we became an actual business in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So we were working together for a while and like throwing ideas back and forth, and so I don't know, it's
It's
been a
been
weird, a
yeah.
crazy, awesome time.
Yeah. And really when I think about it, it was a snowball effect of like, okay, we're gonna do this, we'll see how it goes. And then people really responded to it well. Like they were like, we need this. And when you figure out a need, which we kind of, I mean, it was potentially intuition, but we knew that this demographic of buyers was being neglected. Like we knew that there was a lot of people that needed this information that they weren't getting it because that's who we were. And I don't think I realized it was going to be as far reaching and well responded to or well
Yeah.
received as it was.
Right. Yeah. And now, like, you're right. No one was wanting to help the young millennial. No one was like wanting to teach them. It was very different. And now, lots of people we can see all over Austin are picking up on this. I mean, now, and like, I think sometimes we have to see that we see this as growth, but like people will use the terms that we've coined, like sneaky duplex. Like we saw a realtor post like a viral TikTok or a reel the other day, and he was like sneaky duplex, and I was like, wait, I think that we did he get that from us?
Yeah.
And he confirmed it. He was like, yes, and I was like, okay, like what we're saying is getting around to people, and like other realtors are also using these tactics like to help other people get into homes and
Yeah.
realize like how they can.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the creative strategies are more of a necessity now, and so people are turning to them and like turning to us and being like, "What? Because I can't do this without some sort of income or some sort of creative ways." So it's been like really cool to be at the forefront of this in Austin, especially because it's such a growing city and changing city. I mean, since I've been here, moved here in 2007, it has changed so much. And I don't like to be, and I'm not a curmudgeon about that. You know, there's a lot of people that are mad about it, but it is interesting to see that like people change and the attitudes change and real estate change. It's been interesting to be in front of it.
yeah, that's very true.
Okay, so what are some of your favorite lessons that you've learned?
Hmm. I would say that when you hire someone, it's not like someone needs to manage that person. Like someone needs to be like you can't just hire like I think when we started we were like we were renovating our office. We were working on our own projects, our own real estate projects, and we were also starting a business, and we were also realtors. So, and we were working with a lot of clients. So we were just like working nonstop, and we needed help. And we did not have time to train help. So we just like found someone and was like, we need all of this. And you're on your own now. And like, I think we just didn't even have time to even process what like training someone would be like and like checking in with them. Like we just didn't do that. So I would say that was like the biggest thing is like company morale, growing a team, all that, like learning how to do it really well. I think that is a huge lesson that I
Yeah. Yeah, just
learned.
because you're good at selling real estate doesn't mean you're good at being a leader. And
Exactly.
that was a sharp learning curve for us. And like we weren't treating our company as a company at
Mm-mm.
first. We were treating it as like we need help. We're frantically needing, and then we're going to hire someone and they can just like do what we told them to do on the first day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been interesting to like really go from that to a fully functioning business with systems and like payroll and all of that. So,
I will say though, I don't know what we should have done.
yeah, I don't know.
I
I mean, we didn't go to business school. We didn't have any experience. So we kind of had to learn the hard way. I think that we did what we needed to do.
yeah, and it was which is kind of frustrating because what if you're doing a true startup and you're bootstrapping and you're not getting funding, it almost forces you to do these kind of like kind of not cruel but like kind of selfish things like where you're like I have to do this, like I have to just hire in this way because otherwise it's gonna sink. So like I just don't know what else, like I guess we could have just hired a contractor, like found them a contractor who was like already doing something very specific that we needed help with. That could have been better because then they weren't needing to be managed by us. They would kind of just be managing themselves. And um yeah, I think that would be the only other thing we could have done is like hiring
Yeah.
contractors versus like an actual employee.
But you still have to manage those contractors. We learned that too. It's like we have to make sure that they're pulling their weight and we have to give them feedback. And it's been
Yeah.
that's been challenging too. And we spent a lot of money on help, which I think was
Mm-hmm.
good, but like not always the right help.
Yeah.
like like we've really gone through it with contractors and also like consultants essentially.
Yes, that's
So,
true. I think that's a good point. But
but we
sorry
did
that
learn. I
yours.
mean, I don't look at it as money wasted because
Mm-mm.
we learned from everybody that we talk that whether it's like this is not what we need or this is like we're going to pick and choose what we need from this. Like it really it's been super interesting, but like along the way the biggest failures were our biggest learnings.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, and I think also in the beginning it just felt like so much, and we hadn't everything was super triggering, everything was like emotional. It just felt really hard because we were doing too much. But I just don't know what else we could have done. We could have like tried to slow down, but then we wouldn't have been able to scale like we did. And we haven't even scaled that much, and that's not our goal. We're not trying to like take over the world. We're literally just
Yeah.
trying to keep our team small and keep them happy and everyone get paid well like that, and like teach people how to get into real estate creatively. Like that is what we're trying to do. And like that the beginning felt to me, I don't know if it felt like that to you, but like just very like sink or swim. Like something could happen where we just end.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, there's some wild, I don't know what the statistic is, but businesses fail at a rapid pace. And so feeling like, oh, we're young women and we're in this male dominated industry. And, it did feel like very tense at times. Like we need to make this work and we need to like make the right choices. And if we make the wrong ones, we're over. And it was a little bit more forgiving than that. But
It was,
yeah.
but it felt like life or death, and it
Yes.
definitely wasn't. We are not doctors
Yeah.
or surgeons.
That is something that I think we do a good job of remembering that even with our employees. It's like nothing is like that urgent that we like need to sacrifice our quality of life for it. But I do think that with our trajectory, that was like part of the adjustments that we had to make. Like one of the hardest parts for us, I think, was trying to figure out like our simple business objective. Like we wanted to go bigger, and I was like, we have this amazing thing and it has traction and we got to let go. And then we tried it and it didn't really work. Or like it was a pivot point a little bit in towards a more local company.
Right. Yeah, I think that's when that probably was the hardest time for us, because we were trying to do something that wasn't working and we just kept trying to push it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like that was a hard time, because it kind of split our team, and like it just felt like we were running two different companies, one local, one national. And I think when we both agreed, like, okay, let's take it back to local. Like, why, if we haven't even like dominated this industry yet, or like this area, why are we moving on?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think that really opened up more opportunities for us in general, because as soon as we did that, every like things clicked for us. Like
Yes.
we like hired someone that was like so aligned with our values, and it felt like more natural. We also got like reached out by like so many production companies reached out to us, which is funny because we did start focusing on local, and that would be a very national reach. So it was funny that like as soon as we were like, no, 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 we need to just like step back, focus on this smaller, like not smaller, but just like more pointed goal,
For focused.
attainable,
Yeah. Yeah.
focused.
And
It,
like when you have simple goals, like this one thing is what we're focused on and we can always bring it back to this, it just helps everybody on the whole team. So
mhm.
it feels so good to be like, okay, let's talk about this subject. Okay, wait, is this in support of our goal? No. Okay. We don't have to talk about it anymore. It's like, it
Mhm.
just feels so good. And it feels like it's not emotional. It's data driven.
Yes. And it's something that like we have to that's another lesson is like we have to be the leaders. We tried to push that out and because we were like again trying to focus too much on other things and we are like no, our role here is to manage and is to be the leaders of this company. Like we have to take that back. And that was really hard too.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a very hard situation.
Yeah, it's kind of like trying to figure out like what a leader is to us and to our company, and we were under this assumption that we were just like the heads of the company, and we didn't have to be that involved, and everyone needs to like do their job under us and figure it out. But like really, we've become a lot more involved in managing and like not in
Uh-oh.
like busy work by any means, but like is this shit pointed in the right direction on like kind of a more micro level? I think in general, we're we're better leaders right now than we've ever been, and we're also in the process of getting better. Like we're better
Yeah.
right now than we ever have been, and tomorrow we'll be better than we ever have been. Like I think that that's what we've realized we needed to work on, and we hired a business coach that has been a huge game changer for us.
Yeah.
Truly, what
And
else?
and
Yeah,
like you said, we're way more involved. Like we were getting into this mindset that we could like step back and like just it would run itself in like the culture would be good and we would just still have events and be like having fun, but like we would just like show up too. Like we would just show up and like someone else would lead this and I was like, no, you have to take that back. And
yeah,
um yeah, I think that's been I think we both thought that was going to be way harder than it was. Like it obviously is not super easy, but we thought like that was going to have to involve a lot more of our time, and it really hasn't. It's
yeah,
just being a little bit more thoughtful, planning. Like we have monthly all hands meetings that we're, you know, we are leading, um, and yeah, just having that mindset. It's like just shifting back to like, no, we are in control of this company. How people are feeling, like we need to make sure that that's on us.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's focusing on the things that no one else in our company can do.
Hmm.
So like the culture, there's some like being the faces of the company that no one else can do, that people want to hear from us, like not only our team but like the public. And so we're trying to focus on stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
But then otherwise letting people stick to their expertise like marketing and like the agents, and really like we can't do any of that stuff, or we could but we shouldn't,
yeah,
because they are doing a better job
that's
than
why
we
we
could do.
hired them.
Yeah.
And like I will say, some friends work for startups that I know of, and they really liked like they've a few of them have worked at a kind of like the same startup for as long as I've known them, maybe like 4 years. And they used to love working there. And what shifted was the leadership. They were bought out. Well, even before that, like the head of the company kind of checked out, and then they were bought out, and like it just has their sales are down. Like it's bad. So I mean, I'm sure there's other factors for their sales, but like one definitely low morale in the company, high
Hmm.
turnover, and low sales. So I've seen that firsthand just from like friends working at startups.
Yeah, and I do think that our startup is unique, because I think you're a startup for a while, we'll be a startup for maybe ever, but um like we're not making our employees work all, when you think about startup culture, people
Mm,
just assume that you have to work all the time and you're really pushing it to get to have it succeed. And we really want to prioritize a balance and like a quality of
yeah.
life. Ideally, our employees feel that as well. Like we're not asking them to work 60 hours a week.
Yeah. The goals we set are really attainable because
Yeah.
yeah, um we just know like from other real estate brokerages, like their goals, like their numbers and how they're pushing. I'm like, we set a very like we want growth, but we're not trying to go, we're not being crazy.
Right.
Um, and I think in a startup, there is always like a little pressure. Um, just because like there's such a small team, there's small margins, you know, so but yeah, definitely not like if someone on our team is feeling bad, they know that they can slack us and be like, hey, I'm going to probably be offline for the majority of the day, and we're like,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The culture piece has been so important and such a game changer for us. We had like a moment of where we were trying to outsource culture to an employee, and it was a really big struggle, and our business coach was like, you cannot, it has to be from y'all. And so yeah, big realization there.
Mm-hmm.
What has been your favorite parts?
Hmm. I think, well, this is top of mind because last night I went to one of our workshops. Every month our agents host uh, a workshop that's essentially how to buy a house in Austin, and we go over creative strategies, not only how to like not only the logistics of buying a house in Austin, but also strategies that our clients use, that we use, our team uses. So I really love our education. I love like going to these workshops, even though I haven't been in a while. I was like, Steph and I used to do these workshops every month, me and her. And I remember being like, kind of like dreading it, like, oh, I don't want to do it today. I'm tired. It's Wednesday at 7. And then after like doing it, being so inspired, being so happy and excited. And I felt that last night too. I was like, we're doing so much. We are truly the best in Austin. Like I and we're always trying to get better. Like we're always that's always the goal. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's so inspiring to me. I love it.
Yeah, the topic of real estate and talking with people who are new to it, or who are excited about it, or who are embarking on this, for lack of a better word, journey, um, it's so infectious, and it really
Mhm.
does inspire like hope and excitement. And people are like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm changing my life for this. And when you buy a house, it does change your life. And so
Mhm.
that energy is really amazing. I think that's probably my favorite thing too. Like these, obviously the workshops are, there are different tiers of like, okay, this is, these people are in this specific place in their process, but like the
Mhm.
women investors, also so much energy, like really really fun to have. We could create a space for people who don't have a space otherwise. So
Yeah.
all of our events are really amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like every month we also host a woman investor meetup. And again, I'm always like I need to I was thinking about this. Why do I always like before an event, it's like I'm like I don't want to do it. I
I
don't want to
know.
go. And then I get there and I'm like, "Ah, it's so good. It's so good."
Yes.
So if you're feeling that way too and you haven't been to any of our events yet, like just like push yourself to try to go for like 10 minutes. Give yourself a goal.
Yes.
And you might be so surprised at like who you're meeting, who you're talking to. When you leave, you're probably going to feel like so excited, just very
Yes.
happy. We
I,
need that.
I I've heard so many people be like, I've been meaning to come to events. I'm like, y'all really do it. And I think that there is like a social anxiety that we both feel about it. And then also, I use that tactic like literally when I go to Orange Theory or when I go to the gym. I'm like, you know what? I can leave at any point.
Hmm.
I reserve the right to walk out of here, and I stay the whole time, every single time. And I'm so happy that I did. So I do feel like there's something about it where it's like really good for you. I mean, it's community. Community is really really important for your life, and I feel like we're creating a community around real estate, but also around quality of life, like making your life what you want it to be. And I think that's more of the vibe that we feel when we go to these, rather than just like we're pounding pavement and we're getting rich and we care a lot less about the money than we do about like freedom and lifestyle design and living
Yeah,
our best lives.
that's so true. If me and Steph, I guess if we wanted to be like really wealthy, we would have continued being a realtor probably for a few more years, maybe even, I mean, probably a few more years, kept that money, invested it, and like done something very hands off. Like
Yeah.
we were making a lot of money as realtors. And then what we did though is step back. We cut our salary in more than half.
Yeah.
Um, and like decided to run this company together and like are so much happier for it. And our
Yes.
the agents that are on our team, they don't have to ever deal with what we dealt with.
Yeah.
We were doing everything. Now we help them, like, you know, with like clients like coming in, like we track that for them. We are emailing clients for them. We are helping them so much. They don't have to do all that marketing. They just have to give like their clients the best customer service and the best education, and leave them feeling like very educated, very inspired and happy. And like
Yeah.
we had to do all of that plus like be our own assistants.
Yes. That's actually a really good point. Like we decided instead of continue with this unsustainable career that we had, because I really do think that being an agent as we were and as 80 or as 99% of agents are as their own silo of a business is incredibly unsustainable, and it
Hmm.
creates burnout very fast. And so we
Yeah.
decided instead to create a better job for ourselves and a better job for our agents because they don't have to do everything that we had to do. And so
Yeah.
quality of life across the board is increased by, double.
Yeah, and everything we do pay a lot attention to detail to every aspect of our business. Like if we're adding something in, we're always thinking like, is this going to be easy for the agents to do, hard for the agents to do? Like who is doing what role? Like we're trying to be very thoughtful of like, and I mean, obviously that doesn't always work, but we are definitely trying super hard to make our agents' roles and jobs like very easy, way better
Yeah.
than ours, because that was unsustainable for
I
sure.
know. And it's always a work in progress, or it is a work in progress. We just rolled out a new like platform for agents to communicate with their clients, and it's organized, it's value filled, it's wild, it's like everything where it needs to be. It's really exciting, and like we're just gonna make it better. We're gonna refine like whatever doesn't work there. We're gonna take it off and then add what will make it better. And it's just a really good experience for agents and for buyers and
Yeah.
sellers.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Oh, okay. In our 4 years, I wanted to talk about how many clients we've helped buy or sell homes. And
Yes.
I looked this up number. Well, I didn't. Holly did,
Yeah.
marketing manager. She looked it up and she was like, we weren't always the best with, we use different systems and whatever, but it's roughly around 550 people,
Yes.
which is amazing. I think that's like roughly around like 127 people a year or something like that.
Yep.
Somewhere around that.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That it just makes me feel so proud. That's a lot of people starting their real estate careers in the fact that they're investors now. And that's how we sell houses, is that
Mhm.
even your first house is an investment because it is creating income, or it's creating some sort of return on investment as far as quality of life goes.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of it.
Mhm. Um, I wanna. So when we started, it was like we said, me and Steph, and then um, we had an employee that we hired that kind of just like, I think lasted like 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
And I do not blame her. It was definitely probably our fault.
Shout
Definitely
out to
probably.
her. We're sorry.
And then we had Celeste, who came on and was like, "Hey, I do event stuff. Like, I like what you're doing. Can I help?" And then like that rolled into, you know, a full event or a full-time job with our company. So it was me. It was three of us. And that was like for what, like a year,
Yeah,
maybe?
a year, because about 10 months.
Yeah. And then right before COVID, we brought on two agents.
Two
Well, I guess
agents.
no, Alan was with us. He was like working as, so Steph's partner, Alan, because of course we were like running around. We needed someone to help us. So he started doing some like, I guess, admin agent stuff, realtor stuff
Yeah.
for us.
He got his license, and yeah, he was kind of like our showing assistant, So that was our first like agent essentially.
Yeah.
And then early March of 2020, it was kind of, we didn't search for agents. We weren't technically trying to bring people on that quickly, but we had 2 people reaching out kind of consistently and like coming to our events and coming to our, just popping up here and there, responding to Instagram messages. And it was Jen and Sid,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
who are,
Jen and
yeah,
Sid.
they sought us out.
Yes. And that's kind of how we've, well, not hired everyone, but for our realtors, I think that's um, how we've hired and how we want to continue is like someone who's like really following along, knows our brand, knows who we are, loves the messaging and really like wants to emulate that. So yeah, they started with us and then we needed marketing help. We have Holly now. So I guess, okay, where are we now? It is 2023. We have 9 people on the team, including me and you. So it's me, you, Alan, Sid, Jen, and Mandy
Yes.
brought on a 4th agent. And they're all real estate investors themselves. They all like we just like love hanging out. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
it's nice when we do team events because it's very fun. Everyone like I don't know, everyone really gets along and it's great. And then we have Holly, marketing manager, and Gracie, who it's at administrative specialist, and she really like her main goal is like making the team happy and making our community happy, which is in itself a hard job.
Yeah. Yeah, she's amazing. She's
uh,
there's nothing she can't do, and she definitely doesn't have like the same week ever. It's always something different.
mm-hmm. And our newest hire is Preston.
Yeah.
And he's a new baby realtor and he found us through TikTok.
Yeah. It's amazing. So, and he came to our holiday party. We invited everybody in our community, including people who just follow us. And he started listening to our podcast and really like did his research. And he was like, my dream is to work for y'all. And we were like, well, do you want to?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, now he's full on and it's really exciting. So yeah, that's 9 of us and then me and Kristina.
Yeah.
And I lead sales and Kristina leads marketing, and then we have like our other kind of smaller roles divided up. But it's been, I mean, we've really hammered down roles and who's in each seat and who's, everybody is where they're supposed to be now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been great. And like we said, every day we're learning how to be better as leaders. And
Yes.
yeah, it's humbling.
Yes, that is a great word for it. For every week.
Every week.
It is nice. Like there's no destination. And I do think that, like you already said this, but we're just not trying to be a $1 billion company. We're not trying to break records. We're not trying to take over. We're trying to like live really fun lives and make sure that our company and our employees live really fun lives and
Yes.
rich lives.
Yes, that's so true. I should have saved this, but I was listening to a podcast and it was someone I really admire and I don't remember who it was now, but they were saying something about like businesses when they are asked about a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, they're like, you know, I it's kind of a hard question to answer because I don't really think like that. Like I'm thinking of like right now, and obviously there's growth and stuff, but I think in like this capitalistic world, obviously that we live in, it's like grow, get to the top. And then you're like, okay, we're here. What do we do? Keep growing, go. And I think what we have finally figured out is we are trying to have fun lives. We want to do fun projects. We want a fun community. We want our team to be happy. We want to be happy. And like, how are we doing that? How are we, maintaining that?
Yes,
And that's
yes.
the plan.
Not growing for the sake of growing. Like
Yeah.
that is not why we're here. But and we love goals. We love achieving them, but like not just for the sake of achieving them. Like we do have an end goal, and the end goal is to like have a community and enjoy living our lives. So it just feels good. It feels like, and the fact that really throughout this whole thing, regardless of if we've strayed from like maybe our focus, we have always been aligned in that as co-founders.
Yes.
And so that is, I think, a secret to our ongoing success as partners is like we're very aligned, and we always have been.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that sounds like a good place to stop.
Yeah. Let's head into our therapy, our couples therapy.
I feel like we say that every time. Okay, and now off to our business coach.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. I'll see you soon.
sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.